All right, welcome everybody to an underdog story and potentially under douche story. Fun game here. We have Haboob, and Haboob can produce some crazy games, and RMku can produce some crazy games as well. He came into this game at around 2150, 2K1 ish, and he was picking Civ as far as I know. I could be wrong. I didn't ask him about that, but. Fact is, our MQ is the underdog. Sato is a top 20 player who's had a really strong year. One of the fastest players in the game and almost made it into Hidden Cup 4. Ended up making it into some Red Bull events and played very well in King of the Desert as well. So if you're our MQ, you're a top 100 player, but you typically play more closed maps. And so you know right at the start when you see Sato, like, oh God, this is not going to be good. And when you know how good Chinese can be. So he starts off the game, and he just doesn't quit. He runs forward. He tries to steal some res. And it's a smart move. He knows there's going to be a Rhino out here somewhere, and he knows they're both really close. And okay, here he goes. Here he goes. Here's Sato. And Sato sees the Vil. And now Sato has a decision to make, and he's like, no, it's my Rhino. I'm going to shoot it first. And now, unfortunately, Aremku, who tried a little house trick there, won't be able to get the Rhino. Great adapting from Sato. It's not often that with my cast, the action happens right away, but that's exactly what we have here. So just to explain what happened with the house. So I'm going to use an example before we continue this cast, because trust me, it'll be crazy. If you've ever tried to make a castle somewhere where there was animals, like zebra or deer, you'll probably notice that when your villagers get there and they hit the foundation, they can't build it because the animals are there, and the game makes the animals move off that spot, okay? So when you first attack a boar or a rhino, it will always attack the unit that attacked it. So in that case, Sato, he attracted the aggression from the boar, and then Aremku tried to build a house there and de-aggro the boar, similar to that castle trick. Does that make sense? So it would have been an epic play, honestly. Because then he could have stolen it. But this villager just stays here and is going to shoot down the zebra. And zebra and boar, even sheep, they will rot in Age of Empires 2. So this is what we call lame, as they will slowly disappear with food. It's still probably worth it to go out there, but just an annoying start for Remku. Now he is Persians, and Persian TCs work faster, and their knights get +2 attack against archers, and there's a lot of bonuses with Persians to get excited about. They also have the elephants, which is also exciting. But I think the main thing is Aremku starts to transfer some villagers to wood that you tend to see from Persians from a player like Aremku, and he did it to me just the other day on stream, is Persian town centers have extra wood, or extra HP, sorry, on their town center. So, if you, for some reason, were to just, I don't know, delete your starting TC and then rebuild that TC right next to the opponent's town center and then garrison it, you would win that fight every single time because your town center has double the HP. And it would force the opponent to make some awkward moves. Please, please, please keep an eye on the wood count for both players. Sato made the mill here on the zebra. Sato has the Vil lead because Chinese start with more villagers. And as this game goes on, Chinese have cheaper techs. Sato now goes to wood, and Sato's thinking, let's go feudal age, let's go archers, scouts, something like that. So, here comes the famous Persian douche, okay? Look at my YouTube, there's plenty of uploads. Look for the Legend of Yupe and or the Legend of Rubenstock. Rubenstock is back playing Age of Empires 2, and he's always been the best at it. And he's kind of the guy who created the build. And here comes...
On est contre Armku. Ah non, si pour qu'il me TC rush, sérieux là. Il sait faire que ça là. Casse les couilles le gars, sérieux.
Here comes Aremku, and Sato tried to block the foundation. So there's a famous Rubenstock quote where he says, don't try and block the foundation. It always makes the defender look like a fool. And so Sato tried it there, But now Sato's like, oh god, I know I have a TC, so I can produce vills. I just need to stop him from building his. And so he's fighting it. So the TC's at 30%. This is peak Age of Empires. And Aremku, honestly, has had a really tough time here. If Sato can use his micro to click every single villager, and maybe even garrison his own TC, Sato could deny this and win the game right here. The problem is, villagers build pretty quick in this game. And so, there's still a few villagers that have been able to hit. And this TC is going to go up, which will lead Sato to maybe lose villagers. And now he can't take his berries. So, 4,800 HP on the TC now for Aremku, who only lost one villager in that exchange. And now Sato has to make some plans on the future. Now, I should bring this up. You cannot build on this rocky terrain. So you see this rocky line, you can't build on it. Which means you can't make a TC next to your wood line. What you could do is you could make a TC here. But making a new town center on this map is really awkward and oftentimes inefficient. Now, what Rubenstock showed everyone when he started to do this is, the whole idea is to shoot their town center down, and the second their TC goes down, you keep creating vills. Look, he's bringing his sheep forward and everything. He's got one vill at home. But you keep creating villagers out of your TC, and you vill rush them. So they have the vill lead, but when you delete your TC, because you're not producing, but then they won't be producing, and you have to stop them from ever producing. And Aremku just stole the farms! He just stole the farms, guys! He clicked the farms with his villagers, stole Sato's farms, and deleted them. Because if you click an abandoned farm, you can make it switch over to your side. As if Sato needed another reason to be annoyed here. I don't know why there's a 1 HP farm there. Must have been a misclick. Here goes Sato. Sato is now going to drop a TC. We have villagers fighting. This is obviously extremely awkward. I think he's clicking that area. And because he had a farm there before he deleted it, the game is having him farm again. But RMQ's like, nope, we're not actually trying to farm. The game just doesn't know my advanced strategies. And so the vills are fighting. And to Sato's credit, he has done a pretty good job here. This villager should probably die, and Sato, was trying to chase her, and that got microed back. And now Sato has a TC, but Sato can't take food. So this is a big problem. Sato has to farm, so Sato's going to start to add farms. And Aremku's vill micro is sick, actually. Holy crap, okay. Every time he gets a weak one, he tries to send it back home. And you can see Sato doing the same thing. So, 23 villagers against 24. Both players are in Dark Age. And now Aremku knows that there's a new TC here. Great quick gate from Sato. He traps that villager in and gets the kill. And Sato actually, over the last couple seconds here, has completely recovered. Leading to an awkward situation for Aremku. Now, typically when you're douching or when you're town center dropping, you want to have like 4 vills on wood the entire time. He sent so many vills forward to complete the TC originally that he can't do that. Sato, I think, is honestly going to stone because he's expecting to get TC dropped again. And he knows he might need to rebuild quite a few in this game. So he tried again to block it. Again, Rubenstock's quote was, don't try and block the TCs. It always makes the defender look like a fool. And honestly, I mean, the town center dropping as the sheep just follow and they obey their master and come to the next town. Honestly, I think it's still something you should attempt. It's just that the good TC droppers are always going to find a spot. It felt like with the hills here, it was going to be tough for Aremku to get it down, but nope. Now, fun little town center dropping fact for you guys. So, 10 villagers inside the TC is the optimal number because above 10, you don't get any additional arrows. So you want 10 inside the TC. All the other villagers are doing other things. And look at Aremku. He goes, oh, look, there's a weak vill there. I remember that one. Doink, got him. And now Sato goes for a trap. Sato, of course, is distracted. And Sato is going to lose this TC. And Sato is trying desperately to get enough food income to produce villagers consistently out of his TC. This is a big problem. Aremku has the food because he can take his berries at home and has been taking his berries at home. And then he also has these berries, and he also has goats. So Sato is in the literal dark age. The dark age is such a bad time for him. He can't advance out of it until he waits a very, very long time. There's just no resources for him to go to. These goats he can't find. Aremku must have stole them. So anyways, now here comes the TC. And I don't know if this is next level to block a potential TC spot for the enemy with farms or what. But now Sato is to run away. It's just amazing how advanced this strategy is. I'm pretty sure 95% of the people who've ever played this game online would just resign after the second TC went up. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth the points. The Sato has played well, but Aremku has played well, and we have the villagers fighting, and that's pretty much been the extent of it. And Aremku's really hoping to stop Sato from getting that next TC up. Continues to micro here. And now you'll notice over on the top right, he actually has 3 villagers on stone. Because you start the game with 200 stone, okay? So at this point, both players have had to build 2 TCs. Which means you need 100 stone in the bank to be able to make the next one. Which means he's going to build the next one. He's just taking this stone right now. And he's going to try this again. Sato, though, has the farms to produce villas out of his TC, which is honestly sick. I would have died so hard by now. He now is placing a lumber camp, so he can chop wood efficiently. He also has had 1 villager on stone. So he could essentially do this all day. Like, I suppose what you could do is you could just get to a point where then Aremku is out of food beyond just farms. And then Aremku needs to go for the farms instead of taking the goats and taking the berries. Well, 30 villagers versus 30 villagers. And the Vill micro continues. It's the closest game ever. Another farm has been stolen. Another farm has been stolen. And he's going to drop a TC where the farms were. 4 farms stolen. 4 TCs. And Aremku's going to send in the stone miners because he says, I need to make sure this goes up. Holy crap. Sato, if this doesn't make him stop playing for the day, I don't know what will. This one villager is sacrificing himself for his friends, and the TC goes up, and Sato's got to be like, damn it, dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And so it's round 3 of villagers coming out of the TC to chase down Sato, and Sato's like, you know what, screw it. I'm going as far away as humanly possible. If you want to chase me and steal my farms and do whatever you're planning on doing to me, I am going to run to the other side of the map because this is obnoxious. Just stop it. Play the game normal. Stop being a loser. And now Red's looking for him. And so Aremku's like, oh, he's on the move. Where'd he go? He's on the move. He's on the move. He's chasing these vills. You have to think there will eventually be kills there. And he finds these vills and he's like, aha! Now, he's done a great job at checking the HP on vills because what Aremku's doing is sending out mainly the full HP ones. And the weak ones go into his TC. And what makes it even more broken is that villagers heal inside the TC. So if I were to add up all the Vill HP of all the villagers that existed right now, I'm pretty sure Sato's going to have a lot more weak ones. And overall, Aremku is going to have the stronger ones. But we will see a kill there. The TC goes down for Sato as he adds another TC. Guys, he's not finished. I mentioned how this can be really frustrating to play against. But also when you play against it, you just never want to give the opponent the win. Just out of spite, you know? And so now 90% of the villagers on the map aren't even collecting resources. They're just having a boxing match. And, I mean, we can go all day here. We have stone mining now for Aremku. Stone mining now for Sato. And Sato could fight back, but also just run down to his town center as he's now starting to add some farms. And I love how at 24 minutes in Dark Age, which is a crazy thing to say, Aremku's just back to taking goats. He's like, yeah, I actually kind of need some food right now. The goats would be great. We have a 20-17 KD. And it has been mainly villagers fighting and dying. This is a very even one. Okay, another villager goes down there, but another villager's going to go down in return. Also, we saw Vils go down there. Also, we have Vils running for Sato. Okay, so maybe Sato is starting to get in a little bit of trouble now as he's engaging here in the middle. But I guess if he engages in the middle, he then has time to do everything here. And get his Vils working again. Oh my god, the micro from Sato, though. The recovery. Wow, that was well done. But yeah, he needs to run. He needs to get out of here. And so now... Aremku needs to make a decision. He's almost finished with berries here. He could maybe start to farm a little bit. He has plenty of wood. And he has to know Sato is far away, but he doesn't know exactly where Sato is. So he could try and TC drop again. Or he could think that he's in a fine position when it comes to Vil count, and he could just macro his way to feudal. Because they're both, like, so far away from feudal now. But Aremku does have more villagers. My personal thought on this, having been a douche before, and having been town center dropped by all the greats, is you never let Sato rest. Never. You continue to pressure. Because the whole thought process is... As Sato... Wait, what? How did this happen? Wait, hold on. I need to go back and watch this. The whole thought process is keep your TCs dropping, keep your Vils popping, and never let them rest. Okay, this was Sato saving a Vil. So Sato quick walled to save his Vil, and then she tries to hit him from this side, and I guess gets into a position to be trapped. Because what you don't want to do is let Sato rest. And especially since Sato has so many weak Vils running around. Just continue to chase. And continue to do your thing, but... okay, Stone Miner here is exposed now because so many villagers attack to kill him. You could also make arguments on the other side of things, as we have more quick walls from Sato, that, you know, maybe it's a mistake for him to just not add farms and go feudal. Actually, great idea. Worker efficiency last minute. 33%. Like, the overall worker efficiency for this game is the bottom left. That's horrible. I'm actually going to keep that up for a while. But I guess this area of Sato's eco, these 12 villagers, have been working more efficiently on economy. But unfortunately, so many of these villagers are in weird boxing matches. Oh god, a lion's going to join in now. And so as Sato... Is Sato walling? What if Sato were to wall in that villager with a lion? That would have been epic. It's a hide-and-go-seek game here, people. It is a hide-and-go-seek game. Where somehow, someway, Aremku, who is starting to farm, is not taking the zebra, but Aremku has the Vil lead. And a big Vil lead, too. Very big Vil lead. But I think if Sato can go feudal age faster and get archers out, or anything, right? I think archers would be the play, though. I guess he'd have to... Shoot, he'd have to go home for gold. Does he know about this? He does know about this. Okay, that'd be fine. My archers could make all the difference here. So Aremku with 4 farms here, taking the berries. 3 farms here. Has more on food now. Still chasing down some Vils. Sato still trying to hide with them. And I'm sure Sato a little frustrated right now. Jose says, I would just give up. How many other people would just give up? I'm sure a lot of you would give up. I played against Aremku last week and thought I was dead. He was Persians, I was Franks. I ended up actually winning. He ended up making it to Castle Age, so the mistake he made against me was he never stopped pressuring after his second TC. He didn't Vil rush me. And then he ended up trying to go Castle Age, which he did. But then I went scouts and spears and towers, all ended, and somehow held on. But it's not fun. But you have to always respect someone who realizes that, I mean, first off, Aremku likes to have fun. If you knew his personality, he's very giggly. And he's just like, oh, that was a fun game. That's not at all what he sounds like, but that's the idea. And so he's a silly guy, okay? So he likes to have fun, but also he knows how good Sato is. Sato's a top 15 player, and Aremku is not only not a top 15 player, as Sato walls in the Vil, but Aremku plays a lot of closed maps. So the skill set is certainly just going to be there for Sato, and not so much for him. Well, nice job there from Sato. And he's like, you stay there. All right? That is your prison now. Advanced quick walls. But 37 vills against 28. Which is crazy, man. Crazy. Still more quick walls here. Sato trying to do it again. Okay, so he walls at another villager from Aremku. This villager will escape most likely. And this villager's now escaped. Okay. Actually, Sato doesn't realize it, but Sato could fight back here. Sato could actually win that fight. But when he's paying attention to so many vills, it's hard to pay attention to the details. And here's round number 3. Oh, what the? Holy crap, she's got some really long arms. Can we rewatch that? What in the world? So the palisades go down. This can happen sometimes. Okay, so palisade goes down. And from distance, she just like... I don't know if she had a poison dart arrow or if she tossed something as well when she went out for that smack. But that was crazy. And Aremku says, well... If he says, I hope you're having fun... I will be slightly tilted for Sato right now. And he just said, well, as Sato continues to quick wall. Well done. Now you can chop the tree and place a palisade over it. And he does to escape. Quick wall again. No. Nope. Another villager dead. Look at how random this map is. Honestly. Imagine if this was your first day watching Age of Empires 2. Would you say this looks fun to play or makes any sense? Probably not. We still got goats at 35 minutes. All right. Well, someone in chat just said fun to watch, not so fun to play. I can agree with that. And it looks to me like Sato is thinking archers, but more so fast castle. Unfortunate thing for him is that Aremku has more villagers. And Aremku is on the way to Castle Age faster. To make matters even worse, Persian TCs start working a little bit faster in Feudal, gets a little faster in Castle, and then even faster in Imp. But that also applies to the Castle Age time. So, as we see a stable here, there's probably going to be more than just that, and also Persian Knights have a bonus against archers. So I think Sato knows this has turned into a fast castle game, and he knew he didn't have the res to quite get there, so he's going to mark it. Honestly, I think what Sato has going for him is that Aremku doesn't know exactly where he is, but Aremku does know where he isn't. Look, he's scouting right now. Look at him. He's hunting him down. He doesn't think he's over here, so he has to assume it's probably down here, and yep, here he goes with the scout. Now he finds the farms, and now he finds everything that he needs to find. And he knows he's going to all in this game still, so he sells 400 stone to get gold. And he's going to prep stables. And he's going to get those upgrades. And he's going to go in for the raid. And for Sato, I think this is going to be something like monk defense. But he's going to need quite a few monks. And you can only produce monks when you reach the Castle Age. T9, do you need to cast some Dark Age only community games? No, I don't. No, I definitely don't. I don't think people would enjoy that. They would enjoy my struggle, possibly. As it'd be militia v militia all the time. I don't even know. Would there be any... Is there any civ that's better there? I guess Goths, right? Aremku just passing, looking around. Aremku would enjoy it. We could invite him. Knights are on the way in. Here comes a villager. That villager is going to be up to something funky. And we now have a stable from Sato as he is quickly realizing this is getting out of hand. And I think that means that he will try and go for camels, which would be the natural counter from a stable for the knights. Honestly, think Sato has played super good this game. But the strategy on Haboob especially, and we'll talk more about the map, is so tough to stop. And here he even pulls back the spearman. Hasn't lost many vills. Okay, as I say that, he'll probably lose that one. No. Is now making the camels. Now, no villagers on stone for either player, so they won't be going for second town centers. We won't see anything like castle drops, towers. But this pressure continues for Aremku, who does have +2 armor, With +2 armor, you could probably take fights, but Sato is somehow still alive. How he held on there, I'll never know. And both players using the market ever so slightly. You have RMQ now adding a monastery. 90 population right now. We're 40 minutes into the game. 90 population, and that is not for one player. That's for both combined. Now, it would be pretty sick if these two villagers could end up doing something later, right? Like some sneak buildings. That would be really good. But Sato, honestly, needs to take either his base or what started off as RMQ's base. Because he needs gold long term. He can work with this gold for now. But in the long term, I think he's definitely going to need to go somewhere else for gold. And so, RMQ didn't add the second TC at all. He also didn't get any eco-ups this game. To be fair, though, there's only one eco-technology for Sato. What is going on here? Oh, he doesn't even have a mining camp there. This is still so messy. They're kind of doing similar things, but it's still extremely messy. The monastery can make a big difference, though. The conversion came in. The healing's there for the monk. And there were camels out there, but now there's not too many for Sato as he has to leave the golds. Did not even queue up his own monk. So he doesn't have one on the way. That villager's going to pay the price. I love staying on one town center in general with Persians because that TC's pumping out villagers faster, and the GG's called. Sato finally gives it up, and yeah, truthfully, he was pretty dead here. See, the problem with going camel defense against knights with full armor is that knights with full armor do quite well against the camels. So it's similar upgrades. Camels are good to hold in similar numbers or maybe even slightly lesser numbers. But the second that the knights have more armor, then it becomes problematic. Also, would have probably been more monks. The numbers were 16-3. And Sato, man. Again, do you think he played more? He probably didn't enjoy this game too much. This is a legit strategy. If you watch the Legend of Yuppie video, or one of my Yuppie videos a year or two ago, he did it against Fire in a tourney. In a tournament, he beat a much better player. Here, this was just a ranked game. It's not pretty to play, and it's not even pretty to cast, but it produces a ridiculous environment. And now, I think why it works so well on this map is because you almost always know where they're going to place their TC, and wood lines don't block it. That combined with the fact that there's less elevation makes Haboob one of the best town center drop maps, okay? So think about it. There were hills here, but beyond that, there's not too many hills. The wood is around the outer ring, okay, except for the middle. But you're never going to come to the middle because you're getting pushed from this side. So you're always going to go around to the outer ring. Then you can't build your TC right next to your wood line, so you always need a new lumber camp. That sucks. That's awkward. And then the main thing is, regardless of where you place your TC, there's always going to be flat ground that is not covered by something. If you think of Arabia, which is the staple open map in Age of Empires 2, even that, it's more difficult to TC drop on. So players will just realize, man, and this goes with other strategies as well. Players will figure out what strategy they can do to abuse a map and get a lead against better players, and RMQ did that there. Funny thing is, I got a message from Rubenstock, and Rubenstock is the legendary TC dropper. He does it with a disadvantage at times. Like, he'll do it against Persians or against Byzantines. He messaged me and told me he tried something new with the Poles. So, something to be excited for. Or not so excited for if this game gave you a headache. But you can see RMQ had 6,500 food, 2,400 gold. And then you've got, the stone difference as well. But of course, Sato had wood. He just couldn't turn it into other resources, and he just got outplayed because he had fewer vills.